Brenda Quintana coming to you from the Beehive at QBsQuest.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make this center step card using the Petal Palette bundle. Now this bundle consists of the Petal Palette stamp set and the Petals and More Thinlits dies. I'm going to use this bundle to show you how to make this cool card, which is a center step card. It folds up like this, but when you open it, it has this cool kind of folded design. You can decorate it up however you like, but I love using the Petal Palette suite to decorate it up because it's just so quick and easy. And as a little bonus project, I'm going to show you how to make this cute little pizza box to go along with the card. I'm going to show you how to make this card from start to finish, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is to create the card base, and for that you're going to need your Stampin Trimmer, and you will need a piece of cardstock that you're using for your card base. I'm going to be using basic black for my card base, but it doesn't show up on the camera very well, so I'm using a lighter piece of cardstock. You'll need your cardstock piece to measure 11 inches by 5.5 inches. I'm going to put one of the 11-inch sides up at the top of my Stampin Trimmer, and I'm going to line up the edge of my cardstock with the 3.5-inch mark. I'm not going to cut like normal. I'm going to be cutting in the center of the cardstock. So while I'm lifting up this ruler, I'm going to move my cutting blade over to the 1-inch mark, and then I'm going to place this ruler down. We are going to cut from the 1-inch mark to the 4.5-inch mark. If you're using dark cardstock, it's sometimes really hard to see this side ruler, so just take a piece of computer paper and slip it under the ruler, and then you'll be able to see the numbers better. Then we're going to cut the other side the same way, so take your piece of cardstock and flip it over to the other side. And then you're going to line it up at the 3.5-inch mark again, and we're going to start cutting at the 1-inch mark. So bring your cutting blade down, and you're going to cut all the way down to the 4.5-inch mark. Now we're going to make some cuts on the 5.5-inch side. So have one of your 5.5-inch sides at the top, and we're going to line up the side with the 4.5-inch mark. And then I'm going to move my cutting blade over to the 3.5-inch mark, and we're going to cut from the 3.5-inch mark down to the 5.5-inch mark. I'm going to lift this up, and then we're going to cut from the 6-inch mark down to the 7.5-inch mark. Then, being very careful, we'll want to flip the cardstock over. So I'm going to take it, and I'm just going to flip it over to the other side. And I'm going to line it up with the 4.5-inch mark. Be sure you're flipping your cardstock and not rotating it, because you'll want to make sure that this piece that's not cut is the same on both sides. So again, I'm moving my cutting blade over to the 3.5-inch mark, and we're going to cut from the 3.5-inch mark to the 5.5-inch mark, lift up, and then cut from the 6-inch mark down to the 7.5-inch mark. And this is what it looks like. Note that this area right here that isn't cut is in the same place on both sides. Now I'm going to use my Simply Scored scoring board to score this piece. So I'm going to take my card base and put one of the 11-inch sides up at the top. It doesn't matter which 11-inch side goes up at the top. You're going to score at the 2.5-inch mark and the 8.5-inch mark. Then we need to do some partial scores of our cardstock. We're only going to score down until we reach the cut line though. So we're going to score to the cut line at the 5-inch mark, the 5.5-inch mark, and the 6-inch mark. We also have to do it on the opposite side, so you can either flip or rotate this time. I'm going to rotate 180 for this one, and then I'm going to score just down to the cut line again on the 5-inch mark, the 5.5-inch mark, and the 6-inch mark. So now this card base is ready for folding. Make sure you orient your card base so that the smaller cut piece up here is facing up and the longer cut piece down here is facing towards you. We're going to start off by folding along the score lines that have gone all the way across the card base. So I'm going to take both of those and fold those in. Then we'll fold those back out. Then I'm going to press this piece down so it goes inside my card. I'm going to fold this first piece down and then the second piece down. This one's naturally going to fold in. And then over on the other side, we're going to fold this down so that we have this little bit of a V coming in that's folding right here in the center. I think you can see that little V. And then this middle piece is going to be on the inside of the card. You're going to want to make sure the longer cut piece is coming down into the cardstock like that. Then you can just test this by folding it all down like that. And this should fit into a regular medium-sized envelope. So there is the card base. And now you can have fun decorating it up. I'm going to show you how I did mine. So let's do a little stamping. You're going to need a scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock and your rich Razzleberry ink pad. If you don't like purples, choose another accent color. This card will look perfect in whatever accent color you choose. So I'm just going to open this up here. And I'm going to be using this stamp down here from the Birthday Wit stamp set. I've already got it mounted on a block, and I'm just going to ink it up in my ink pad, and I'm going to stamp it down here. Lift it off. Then what I want to do is just cut out this happy birthday greeting. It looks like this once it's all cut out. Next, I'm going to need another scrap piece of Whisper White. And this time I'm going to use my Memento Tuxedo black ink pad. And I'm going to use this beautiful greeting that says, "Life is so much better with you in it." I'm going to ink that up, and I'm going to stamp it on my Whisper White piece. And then I'm going to punch it out with my 1 3/4 inch circle punch. So just slide that in here and give it a punch. I'm going to layer this up twice with 2 other pieces of cardstock. So I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch and a piece of rich Razzleberry cardstock. Punch out another circle. And then I'm going to use the Starburst Punch and a piece of basic black cardstock and punch that one out as well. Then I can adhere these pieces together. Just use a light bit of Tombow and just center your greeting in that first circle. Then add a little bit more Tombow and add it to the Starburst piece. Then we just need to stamp one more thing. So again, I'm going to use a scrap piece of Whisper White, my Memento Tuxedo black ink pad, and I'm going to be using this cute little chickadee stamp. I'm just going to stamp it right onto my Whisper White piece. Then you're going to need your Big Shot. I'm going to use my magnetic platform, but you can use your regular platform as well. And I'm going to put 1 cutting plate down. I'm going to put my piece that I just stamped, and I'm going to take this little bird die from the Petals and More Thinlits. I'm just going to nest it right around my little bird. And then I'll take my second cutting plate, place it on top, and then run it through the Big Shot. And there's what the little bird looks like. So now we're almost ready to assemble the card. We just need our center backdrop piece. So I've taken a piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, and I've cut it to 3 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. Now this paper is actually black and white when we start out, but I've already started to color it with our Stampin' Blends. I'm going to use 3 colors of Stampin' Blends. I'm going to use the Rich Razzleberry Light, the Old Olive Light, and the Pink Pirouette Dark. And I'm going to just use it to color in the black and white outlines. So I'll start off with my Rich Razzleberry. And I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to color the petals. Stampin' Blends are awesome for coloring because you don't really see the little lines that you do when you use regular markers. They really blend nicely together. You can do shading if you like with our blends with the dark and the light, but I'm not going to do any shading this time. It looks good just coming in and hitting everything with color. I'm just hitting the remaining flowers. And now I just need to hit the leaves with a little bit of green to finish off this piece. Then we just need one more piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, and I'm going to use the polka dot design this time. I've cut this piece to 5 inches by 2 inches. So now we're ready to put this card together. So I'm going to use Tombow. I'm just going to use a light bead of glue so that my paper doesn't wrinkle up. And I'm going to center this down at this bottom piece right here. Make sure it's centered. Then I'm going to take this happy birthday piece that I cut out, add some Tombow to it, and center it right down here. Then I'm going to take this Designer Series paper piece, add some light Tombow to it. To add this, it's easier if your card base is completely flat. So let me just flatten this out for a moment. And then I want to make sure that this is centered on this basic black piece. And then just smooth it down like that. Then I want to add my greeting with some dimensionals. So let me flip this over. And you'll probably need 3 or 4 on the back of it to help support it. And then just make sure that it's kind of centered on your piece, like that. If you like, you can come back in with your Pink Pirouette Stampin' Blends and just hit this little flower right here just to add a little color to it. Then you can take your little chickadee and add a little bit of Tombow just to the bottom because the little head is going to stick up. So I'm just going to kind of see where I want it right here and then just add it right here like that. And then when this is folded up, the little chickadee is just right in front of your focal point like that. And there is your very pretty birthday card. Now if you wanted to, you could also add Designer Series paper to the back, but if you want to keep it simple, this has just enough wow factor so that you don't really need to add anything else. So now I just wanted to show you how to make this really cute and easy birthday pizza box. So when you get these pizza boxes, they are completely flat like this. What I love about these pizza boxes is that they are lined, so they are completely food safe. So if you want to bake something to put on the inside, or if you want to put loose candy that doesn't have a wrapper on it, you can put that on the inside as well. These are very easy to fold up. So you just fold inward along the score lines, keeping in mind you want the lined shiny side on the inside. So I'm just going ahead and folding up the box along all the score lines. Up here, there's these 2 little pieces. Those need to come out. Then let's just turn around the box because the piece with the hole in it is the bottom. So what you're going to do is you're going to bring in the sides, and then you're going to bring in the front, and you're going to wrap it around and have these little tabs right here are going to tuck in to the bottom like that. Then all you need to do is bring up the pizza box. I'm sure you've all folded one before, and then close it up like that. So let's do some stamping first. You're going to need a scrap piece of Whisper White, and you're going to need your Memento Tuxedo black ink pad. This time I'm going to take another happy birthday stamp from the Birthday Wit stamp set, and I'm going to ink it up in the black and stamp it down right here. Then I'm going to take my 2-inch circle punch and line it up inside the window and punch it out. Then I'm going to take my rich Razzleberry Stampin' Blend and I'm going to start coloring in the happy birthday in the outline. This is what it looks like when you're finished. Then I'm going to need another scrap piece of Whisper White cardstock, and I'm going to need my rich Razzleberry ink pad. And I'm going to use the little flower stamp from the Petal Palette stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it down on here. Then I'm going to need my Big Shot again. I'm going to take the flower I just stamped, and I'm going to use this flower from the Petals and More Thinlits. I'm just going to line it up around my flower, and then I'm going to take my second cutting plate, place it on top, and run it through. And here's the little flower. Then we're going to need just a couple more things. I'm going to need a piece of basic black cardstock, and I've cut this piece to 3 3/8 inches by 3 3/8 inches. I've taken another piece of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, and I've cut it to 3 1/8 inches by 3 1/8 inches. I've already done some of the coloring on here because the Petal Passion paper is all black and white. So let me just finish it off. I'm going to use the same colors as on my birthday card. Then we're going to use the Starburst Punch to punch out another basic black starburst. This will layer under the happy birthday. Then we're going to take some of this beautiful white organza ribbon, and we're going to color it using our Stampin' blends. So you're going to need a scrap piece of paper, and I've cut a length of ribbon to 8 inches. This ribbon started out all Whisper White, and I'm going to take my rich Razzleberry Stampin' blend and the brush tip, and I'm just going to come along and I'm going to color this. And when this dries, you're going to have a ribbon permanently colored in a different color. For this, you'll want to do both sides. You can experiment, you can run it along the marker, or you can let the marker go down the ribbon. You also want to go down the center on both sides. And then you're going to want to let this dry for about a minute before tying a bow. Here is a bow made with some ribbon that I dyed earlier. And the last thing you're going to need to decorate this box is 4 pieces of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper. And I've cut these pieces to 3 1/2 inches by 3 1/4 inches. So now all we need to do is assemble this box. And there you go, 2 great projects made with the Petal Passion suite. A beautiful birthday card, and now you have a little gift box to go with it. All the supplies you'll need to make this fancy fold card and the pizza box are available for purchase on my blog. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Bye for now. If you like this tutorial, be sure to check out all the free with purchase tutorials available on my blog. The Rolo's Shamrock tutorial is just one of the exclusive tutorials that you can choose free with a minimum purchase in my Stampin' Up! Store. Hi, it's Brenda again. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also visit my blog for more information on my projects and to learn about my rewards program, or just watch another one of my videos. Thanks for watching.